TeamSpeak user joined the 95th Rifles.
Hello and welcome to another Sharpe Plays. I'm going to be
TeamSpeak
playing
user
a bit of
switched channel to Badajoz,
Warships this
World
evening.
of Warships on the 95th Rifles. Allies disconnected from the 95th Rifles. Microphone muted, microphone activated.
Right, what shall we start with today? Yeah, let's take the Des Moines out. No CVs. Boo.
Action stations.
And B. Okay. I'll err on the side of A to support the Shima.
direct front.
There's a lot of things targeting me.
Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, direct front.
I have to take one of those.
Taking on water quickly. Problem solved, sir.
Crap.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
Senior disconnected from the 95th Rifles.
Come on, come on, move, move, move.
Our team has taken the lead. Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Good job, Monarch. So the last two destroyers are in B. He's going down.
Our team is taking the lead.
Yeah, let's light some fires, boys. Let's use the damn car. He's got a smoke screen in front of him now. And he's out of my radar range. Yeah, well, give us a fire. Oh, he's gone. Turn in for the Orleans.
cruiser foundered.
And where's little Yukimo? No, he's not within my radar range. He's not spotting me now.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Come out, wherever you are. I've got no radars left, just poo.
Torpedoes, dead ahead. Torpedoes, direct front.
Oof, there we go.
Group Miriam disconnected from the 95th Rifles.
Hey Cloud, I'm doing alright, thanks mate. How are you? Just on for a few games, so this one is going well so far. It's my first game of the day. Oh, the evening. Let's see when this... Oh, there he is.
Torpedoes to starboard.
And boom. Oh, what's that, Cloud? Although in Venice, I do rage a bit as well. But I hope mostly for good reason. Like when your teammates' second line torp you, or battleships cruise towards the edge of the maps and shit like that. Whew, nearly a cool 500,000 profit. And 27k Captain XP. Woo! This is good. And our first container of the day. And nearly to our second in one game. signals, please. Both useful. Yeah, I don't think the game's being... Well, I guess you could say it's being dumbed down in that it's a lot easier to play a battleship than it is to play any other class, so there's lots of BBs. But I think there's still a decent amount of variety and skill involved. Yeah, my personal opinion anyway. Don't get me wrong though, this game is nowhere near what it could be. I'm sad enough to have lots of little spreadsheets of how I would fix this game. Which I must do a video on at some point. Because I think some of my ideas would be really easy to implement and would actually vastly improve the gaming experience for everyone. Yeah, like for example, Cloud. I have a I've got like a spreadsheet that I did for scoring mechanics. That would be specifically for random games, not any of the kind of competitive stuff and all the rest of it. Because let's face it, people play randoms for the XP grind and that. So, and also to learn ships. So I've got a whole spreadsheet that uses kind of theoretical numbers because I don't know the exact figures of how they apportion scoring, but it kind of revolves around the idea of you know, making the class roles more distinctive between ship type. So for example, battleships are more rewarded for taking damage and avoiding damage, so potential damage, than they are for actually doing damage. And things like destroyers are more rewarded for spotting torpedoes, spotting enemy ships, damage to enemy ships by their spotting, so to encourage them to lay smoke for their team while remaining outside of it themselves. Carriers to be rewarded for spotting torpedoes, spotting planes, more so, thereby giving the carrier its proper kind of scouting air superiority role, and making it viable for carriers to take air superiority decks in randoms and actually get points for it. Because at the moment, like US carriers, they just take strike loadouts, even though it's shit for the team. It's good for them because they only get points for doing damage. Or rather, at the moment, everyone only gets, you know, points for doing damage. And like, you know, cruisers would get more points for shooting down planes, shit like that. So, my little spreadsheet kind of modifies like everyone's points for damage, everyone's points for capping, points for aircraft spotting, points for aircraft destruction, points for torpedo spotting, you know, all that kind of stuff, to model it so that players are actually rewarded for playing their class of ship kind of as it should be, I guess. I will have to get around to making a video because I think it could be quite interesting for some people to see. That's certainly my thoughts. And by making like very simple changes with regard to the scoring mechanics in randoms, it teaches people to play their role. And it rewards people for playing their role properly. So, you wouldn't have battleships hiding at the edges of the map, because the only way for them to get good scores is to be the tip of the spear taking damage. You wouldn't get CVs playing full strike, because they would be rewarded for spotting enemy aircraft, enemy ships. Oh no, there's still other ways for every class to, every class gains points for doing everything. What I'm talking about is modifying the kind of percentage amount of points they get for the various activities. So, for example, at the moment, a battleship will get 1,000 points for doing 100% damage to a ship, as an example, yeah? So that means they could kill a destroyer, a cruiser, an enemy battleship, whatever it be. They get one kill, no matter how many hit points of damage they've done, they still get 1,000 points. So if you kill a battleship at tier 10, you're doing 100,000 damage, and you get 1,000 points. If you kill a destroyer with 20k hit points, you still get 1,000 points. And to me, that kind of reward system of percentage damage is a good and a bad thing, but it needs to be modified by the classes of ships to encourage people to target certain things, because that's how the whole rock, paper, scissors mechanics is supposed to work. Cruisers are supposed to be the natural counter for destroyers. Battleships are supposed to be the natural counter for cruisers. Destroyers are supposed to be the natural counter for battleships. So, to maintain that circle of rock, paper, scissors, you actually have to reward people for playing in that style. And it wouldn't have to be a big differential. It's like, say, in that rock, paper, scissors circle, the cruiser's natural enemy is the destroyer, so they would get 1,000 points for a destroyer kill. If they hit another cruiser, they get 900 points. If they hit a battleship, they get 800 points. That kind of idea. And yeah, exactly. It's making things percentages then means the game can be balanced and scaled much more easily. I mean, that's why they've chosen percentage of damage to a given ship as the multiplier for points at the moment. But personally, I just think they've got the multiplier wrong, and having it apply across the board as the same multiplier is, in my opinion, just wrong. But yeah, I've been meaning to make a little video going through my suggestions at some point, but I haven't managed to get around to it yet. Yeah, the current scoring mechanic for damage and points given for damage is based on a percentage of damage done to a ship. That's what I mean. So if one ship has 20,000 hit points and you destroy it, you would get, for example, 1,000 points. If you kill a ship that has 100,000 hit points, you still only get 1,000 points. And yes, the percentage multiplier is affected by tier as well. So let's say tier 10 to tier 10, you're getting 1,000 points for that ship kill, and you get a 10% bonus for the actual kill. That's why kill stealing isn't really that big of a deal, because all you're getting is 10% of the points for that ship. Although it's still 10%, so arguably someone taking those 10% worth of points off you can be upsetting for some people. Not for me, mind you. I don't give a dick about 10% points for a kill. And then if you're like a tier 9 killing a tier 10, then you get like 110% of the points. And if you're a tier 8 killing a tier 10, you get 120%. So it's there's a scaler in there for tier as well as damage percentage. And that's why some of my best points games, for example, have been when I've been like using an Otago and I get up tiered into a tier 10 and manage to kill like 2 Yamatos and come out with a stupidly high score. Well, to be fair, I think there still needs to be a percentage bonus for like getting the kill, but I mean, to me 10% is fine and it doesn't bug me when people get those extra 10%. But given how emotive kill securing is in general, I'd probably say it needs to be reduced across the board to like maybe 5% and test that out. But again, the beauty of like all of these percentages is that you can test all of this shit and see how it works out. I mean, it would be incredibly easy for them to have a 2-week long or like a month-long public test where every week the percentages for each of the scoring types was changed, and just get data and see how to balance. You know, game balancing is pretty complicated, but in another way it's actually pretty simple. You need a starting point in line with what the game mechanics should be, and then you tweak it based on testing. But unfortunately, with the current mechanics they have, you know, it really encourages like battleships to kill destroyers, because you can wipe them out with 2 AP shells, and that's, yeah, don't get me started on that. Battleship AP shells killing destroyers is just phenomenally stupid. But battleships are encouraged to do it at the moment because, yeah, you get a DD kill with a couple of shells and it's the same as getting a Yamato kill, points-wise. So why wouldn't you nuke a destroyer? Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. DDs are a very big threat in a game. But it's all about kind of encouraging preferential behaviors. So, you know, like I said, rewarding cruisers for killing destroyers. As a cruiser player, you are going to be more heightened in watching for enemy destroyers and will focus them down as quickly as possible. You know, in competitive games, this stuff works because people communicate in clans and, you know, they've got a game plan and they coordinate. But in randoms, that doesn't happen automatically, and my kind of points balancing system is, at least in my mind, designed to try and encourage these behaviors to start to occur naturally in the player base. So, like I say, if a cruiser knows he's going to get more points for nuking that DD, he's going to be looking for those DDs. Because in random battles, all that matters is points. People don't care if they win or lose. They want to get their kill-death ratios up. They want to get their high scores. They want to grind the points and the cash. Well, I think it would lead to better role understanding and people actually playing their roles more effectively just naturally as part of the scoring system. Because, you know, if you're a battleship that just wanted to snipe, yeah, you'd get some points for getting kills, but you wouldn't get as many points as if you made sure you were on the front line taking some damage for your team. So naturally, their behavior would change towards, well, I want to get the most points, so to get the most points I need to tank some damage. And again, it's not about charging in and taking damage, because if you die quickly, that reduces your potential damage, because you're dead. So it would encourage battleships to play smart. Be at the front, be getting some attention off the enemy, but also survive. And like I said, with regard to destroyer gameplay, focusing their points gain off on spotting enemies, providing damage through spotting, because that would encourage them to lay smoke for their teammates.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes to port.
Oh crap, I've just reversed into that torpedo. And yeah, accordingly, depending on like the role of ships, especially for battleships, repair costs would be apportioned based on the role.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target. Alle Stationen.
But then, to be fair, the repair cost of taking one shell to the compared to the repair cost of being sunk is 0. So unless you finish the game with 0 damage, which I've seen some battleships do, your cost is the same. Which is even more puzzling why people run away to the edge of the maps to not take any more damage. But yeah, like I said, I guess my point being is that it kind of needs to change if they want this game to be more enjoyable for people doing their jobs. It's fine, mate. I'd be making derps whether I was talking about game mechanics or otherwise. Our smoke's back, so we want to get into D. But yeah, Cloud, I've got, like, well, for the scoring mechanics I've got a spreadsheet, and for other things I've just got notes of kind of how I would do it. And my intent was actually to start a little series of videos myself of kind of what I would do to fix things in as constructive and helpful a manner as I can. Because even though I enjoy this game as it is currently, I would enjoy it a lot more if some changes were made. And I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of people would enjoy it a lot more if some changes were made. I've always had an interest in kind of theory crafting. Ow, shit. My clan's been around for a long time, and in all the games we've played, I always kind of have a vested interest in understanding as much as I can about the game mechanics, and it's an interest of mine to find ways of improving. Come on, come on, come on. No, don't set me on fire. Oh, you bugger. Shit. I'm not gonna make it. Ah, oh, lucky bastard. I was so close to making it out of that alive. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, this game, when it came out, was not complicated. And it still really isn't complicated. I mean, the people that give wargaming the most money are people like me that spend their spare cash on premium time, on buying the premium ships that come out. You know, John Doe average player does not make money for wargaming. So the people that spend the most money are the people that are passionate about this scenario, World War II naval combat. You know, look at all of these premium ships I own, for no other reason than I love World War II naval combat. and I want to own all of these models. And there are plenty of people like me that have reasonable, well, sorry, no, I'll correct that, had a reasonable disposable income. But going forward in the future, I'm probably not going to be able to afford buying all of these premium ships. Thankfully though, because I have done in the past, I still have 369 days of premium account left on my main account, so I never have to spend money on that for, yeah, over a year, which is nice. But yeah, you know, when you're looking at no, my personal circumstances have changed, so I don't have the income I once did. But such is life. Yeah, no, cheers, mate, but yeah. It's life. We have to all keep on trucking. What ship shall I play next? Bored of tier 10 now. I think I'll take one of my favourite ships out. North Carolina. She is a beauty. Get her captain back. Off the Alabama, which is just not as good in my opinion. But I still have one because, yeah, I was collecting. Let's put the fire control back on. Still of two minds whether the FCS actually helps reduce the dispersion on these or not. It always feels like when I take the base fire control systems on battleships, the dispersion is better. But I know mathematically that the upgraded fire control systems should be better. Because even though they add to the total dispersion, that's maximum dispersion at maximum range. And so the dispersion should be lower at the original range, unless the dispersion is increased by 10%, which it never is. But I'm still dubious. Oh, got another container. More signals, please. Right, NC, let's see what we have to play with. Oh, no carriers for us to munch. There's only a few 9s, so that's manageable. Okay. The Akatskis are probably the only thing to worry about with their 10-kilometer torps from the DD point of view. Oh no, Z46's got 9.5, I think. Now we're not going to go to a map edge, so let's get up to full speed and get across towards the middle. Hopefully the friendly Iowa and Gneisenau will take the hint and not cross me. Nope, the Gneisenau has turned out to head wide for the border edge. And I'm not going to adjust my course, mate. Yeah, Gneisenau, worst battleship guns in the game, goes wide to maintain maximum range. GG, man, GG. But no, don't despair. Yugamo sat in his own smoke using guns. You know, that's just complete fail DD play. Rendered all of his big hitters blind. His guns do sod all damage to anything. Because it's not a gunboat. The only reason we can see anything is thanks to this Akatsuki. At least the cruisers have chased those two DDs out. So we will turn ourselves in a bit to start closing some distance on those big boys at the back. That's that half speed, full speed. Let's try that. I overlead him? 1 pen. Overled him a bit. Oh, Nelson's being brave though.
Torpedoes to port.
Oh, 4 pens on the Iowa. Thank you for sailing in a straight line, buddy. That was a Hail Mary shot. No, I keep spending all of my free XP on, upskilling my captains and stuff. I probably could have had the Missouri and the Nelson, yeah. I think my first massive sink of free XP was to just blaze straight past the Izumo because I don't like it, and go for the Yamato. And I'd like to have the Nelson from a collection point of view, but I also don't like it for the same reason I don't like the Izumo. I'm not a fan of the 3 front turret set up by aesthetically. I don't really like the look of it, and functionally, yeah, I don't know. I prefer, like battleship wise, like the North Carolina's template of 2/3 firepower forward, 1/3 firepower aft is my favourite. I don't know why, probably because the first movies and shit I ever saw of proper battleships were this kind of style. So I think the first real battleship I saw in a movie was in Under Siege. Where I think they actually used the Alabama to represent the Missouri. That was a miss shot. Oh shit! I was not paying attention to the right flank. Oh crap, that hurt. Well, there is a way of kind of handbrake turning. But it's not quite as drastic as chucking the anchor down and doing a turn like they did in the Battleship movie. Now that I think would also be a really cool mechanic, but one that you could only ever do once per game, because once you've dropped the anchor and torn it off, it's gone. And rather than doing the math and working out how many anchors each ship has, keep it simple with just 1 anchor per ship. And that could actually be a new fun mechanic. But yeah, if you want to do the hardest turn possible, and you're going like at full speed, for example, then don't just decrease your speed, put it all the way into reverse and do a full turn. It does actually cut your turn in quicker than just dropping speed and going in on a full turn. but it only really has a noticeable effect if you're going full speed. Because then at full speed, the game's physics engine does take into account that your propellers are actually in reverse, and lowers your speed faster. That was a rookie mistake for me. I was too tunnel vision focused on engaging the enemy battleships ahead of me to notice that 2 destroyers were setting up to taunt me. Rookie mistake. I think we'll stay with tier 8s. Another favourite, well, particular favourite of mine is the Akizuki, and I would also change what they've done with her. Because the Akizuki was designed and built as an anti-air destroyer, which is why she's got such good anti-air. But I would really like to be able to have the choice, like on US DDs at tier 6 and above, to be able to swap this speed boost out for defensive fire. And then she would actually be a much more accurate representation of her real ship. The torpedo reload booster has to stay because she's only got 1 launcher, and historically the crews of the Akizuki were trained to reload torps faster than other crews of similar destroyers. But I do like my Aki, and I go for a hybrid build with her that is both useful at rinsing enemy destroyers and taking down planes. A lot of people kind of go either or with the Akizuki, either massively focus on like going a full AA spec, or they focus on going a full IFHE spec. Yeah, if you do the if you add them all up, quite a few of the battleships have really high numbers of guns, AA guns. I mean, Congo in game doesn't quite have 100 AA guns. Montana has 20 plus 40, 60, another 80. 80 plus 60 is 140, and 20, 160. So Montana has 160 AA guns. Yamato, 46 times 3, 120, 138, plus 12, 140, 150, plus another 12, 162. The Yamato has got 162 AA guns. It's a lot of AA. But yeah, I think we should play my Akizuki. do my OCD checking that I had the right signals and shit sorted out. Ah! Let's hope I've got all my economic signals on. Oh, and that sucks. Alright, buddy. Enjoy. This is going to be difficult. Okay, they want to go BC, so that means I need to turn in for B.
All forces, capture that area.
Okay, people have some conflicting ideas of which caps we are going to take. But I'm going to go with the majority. Majority seems to be going east. Because I'm a team player, not a solo warrior. Unsurprisingly, one of their DDs has got to be ahead of me. However, which one? He's bound to be behind the island, so hopefully I can get in to interrupt. Okay, Shimakaze then.
All stations retreat.
Oh crap. Oh damn, that's a lot of pain. I need to back the hell off a bit. Just in case that Moskva gets in radar range. We don't want that happening. Oh shit, he's gonna close the hydro. I need to be moving out of here. Oh, damn it. Holy cow. Thank you very much, Cloud, for the sub. That is very much appreciated. That softens the blow. Of getting deleted just then. Oh, that is very much appreciated, mate. That's really great. Thank you. Well, the thing is, every little helps, mate. It is all very well received. I'm just glad you're enjoying my streaming content. Right. That was a really disappointing game. And you get one of my emotes. Yay! And if you have a Discord account that's linked to your Twitch account, you should have access to my Discord server as well. I think I need to play my Takao. I've not played a Takao in a while. Okay, what's it going for? So 6 more points. Where are the 6 more points gonna go? Right, 2 in there. So that's 4 points left. Maybe Jack of all trades, preventative maintenance, and direction center, or radio location for hunting. Okay, cool. Right, let's go. Oh, here's a question for you, Cloud. Have you seen the couple of kind of how-to videos I've done for a couple of ships? Oh dear, up tier to a 10. It's not going to be great. Alright, no worries, it was just curiosity, mate. I was just looking for if you had watched them, what you thought of them, because I wanna do some more kind of how-tos. But no worries. This is probably a very dangerous play. Oh yeah, if you don't mind, mate, then it would be much appreciated for some feedback. But yeah, no worries if you don't have time or it's not really your thing to watch that stuff. Okay, this is probably going to suck. Yeah, you go ahead, Benson. Oh, you absolute star. See, this is how destroyers are supposed to play. Lay smoke for your teammate. Yeah, ironically enough, I only started watching Twitch while I needed some background noise at work. And same goes for YouTube for me actually as well. I tend to catch up on a lot of like Daily Show with Trevor Noah and stuff like that on YouTube clips.
Tango disconnected from the 95th Rifles.
really awkward position now. It's a lot of shit firing at me. And into stealth. Ah, crap, a broadside to a Yamato is never a good plan. Ouch! I am done. I have no way I can survive this position. Ouch! Now that was far too aggressive play by me, but let's look at where our battleships are. Ah, no damage at the back. Oh, he's going to take damage now though. Only just. Montana, very little damage at the back. North Carolina, no damage at the back. Curveurst actually pressed into the cap. Good on him. Monarch 2. Yeah. So those 3 battleships that have sat back while their entire team was pressed on this flank essentially could have probably saved me and the Minotaur. But oh well. Oh, that's been a disappointing couple of games. Cloud, any ships that you would be particularly interested in seeing? Fiji, yeah, sure. I do enjoy a little bit of Fiji. Bloody good ship, one of my favourites. It's it's a noticeable improvement over Leander, because essentially you're upgrading your firepower by 50% as you got triple turrets instead of twins, and you get 8 km torp range instead of 6. And also, for me, she's the first of the Royal Navy cruisers that it starts to be useful to spec into manual AA. Because, yeah, Tier 7 is when the big AA guns start to feel good. Well, to be fair, I'm sure that they are going to be diversifying. I mean, you know, for example, there's only light cruisers from the Royal Navy in game at the moment, 6-inch cruisers, and you know there are 8-inch cruisers, heavy cruisers or armored cruisers, whichever tag you want to put on them. But yeah, you know, there's, I think much like World of Tanks, that just kind of, you know, each tree just kept on splitting until you had like 3 different trees of medium tanks and, you know, all that kind of shit. Yeah, not many, but there are some. So, you know, what I would like to see them do is kind of like split these trees off. So like, you know, you could go, we'll use Leander as an example. So you could go from Emerald, you could either go to the Leander as the 6-inch cruiser, or go to an 8-inch cruiser, and then back to the main line, just like, you know, the World of Tanks tech trees, if you're familiar with them. So that you have kind of like branching trees, so you can you know, experience more different ships and have more flexibility and include more ships in the game without actually having to have a full line. Because like, yeah, because there's not many 8-inch cruisers in the, well, there were not many 8-inch cruisers in the Royal Navy in World War II. You couldn't fill a whole line, so you know, just having an alternate line or an alternate 1 or 2 here or there would kind of be nice. I mean, you know, they've really split the destroyer lines a bit for a couple of nations, which is kind of good, although I would prefer it if they had some kind of cross-pollination back into main lines. So you could go from Isokaze to this line, and then go all the way down to Akizuki, and then maybe you can go back to Yugumo, because there's no tier 9 here, so there should be a link back in to the other tier 9 that's in the game. And then it's a tangible choice, you know, maybe I want to go grind this line and then go back to the 9 and 10, or I want to go all the way down to the 9 and 10. Again, just some ideas with regard to tech tree flexibility and, I don't know, making things more interesting. Similarly, battleships could be split into like battle cruiser line versus battleship line. Because I mean, essentially, with like the Japanese line, all of these, by Royal Navy standards, are considered battle cruisers. Until you get to Izumo and Yamato. So yeah, they could have a lot more kind of side branching. They don't have to have an entirely new line. They can just branch things out and branch things back in, just to get more ships in the game and more variation. Double check my count. So yeah, I've got manual AA as one of my 4-point skills on this. Because she can do some damage to aircraft, even though she doesn't have defensive fire. But yeah, Fiji is one of my favorite ships. I played her a lot in the tier 7 ranked season before the last one. Despite people squealing that the Belfast is overpowered, I preferred taking the Fiji over the Belfast, even though I have both. Just because Fiji has torps and a heel, which is actually really important when you've got fuck all armor. I'm also quite keen to see which destroyers make it into the primary destroyer line for the Royal Navy. Because if the Gallant is anything to go by, they could be quite a nice balanced line that quite neatly fills that gap between US destroyers and IJN destroyers. Well, my favourite, ironically enough, was the first Royal Navy, well, technically not Royal Navy, but the first British designed, engineered and built destroyer in the game, Błyskawica. The Grum class. But then I'm biased by, while being British born and raised, I'm also half Polish, so seeing the Błyskawica in game was awesome, and I love her.
Generator activated.
Come on, DDs, get some spotting please, otherwise my smoke here is going to be a waste. Nagato is too far out. Well, there's torps coming in from that side. Yeah, Cloud, the Błyskawica's I guess kind of most heroic engagement was defending the Isle of Wight from a German air raid on her own. So she saved many lives that day. Come on, Fiji, we need to move. We need to move.
Fire.
We're going to let this fire eat some of my hit point pool. Ooh, okay, was not expecting the Sharn horse to be there.
Smoke screen set.
Oh no, he turned! Damn it! Yeah, I was. Oh, damn. Oh, those would have been a really nice hit on him if he'd not turned hard. Ugh. And what are you people doing over here? Seriously. Our team's gone completely murdered. Oh wow, that's really sad. Oh damn, sorry mate. I'll come back to the Fiji when she's out of combat and hopefully show her off in a better game. But with the talk of the Whisker, I think I have a quick game in her. What was I specking? Yeah, range, stealth. So 3 points left. It's probably going to be BFT. Oh no, demo expert. Yeah, okay, yeah, last 3 points we're going to go in demo expert. Yeah, this kind of overhang was one of the trademarks of the a lot of the British destroyer designs. although a lot of similar designs would have only had single turrets. Whisker has the advantage of having twin turrets, and it's just the front one that is a single. Which I'm not sure why, to be honest, but does make her a formidable gunboat with 7 accurate, fast-firing guns. 6.5 second reload, 900 meters per second, muzzle velocity. Those are very nice. I really like up-tiering us today. Pretty much all of those have better stealth than me. Great. And they have a radar, the Missouri, but we have Atlanta. Okay, 1 radar each side. Okay, Kagero, where are you going? Not the captain's skill, and she can't have the module. I spec'd this for primarily gunboat, because her torps, while they are fast reloading as standard, the range isn't great and the damage isn't great, so her main source of damage comes from the guns. So you essentially play her kind of like a Russian DD, or I try to anyway. Stay at max range with AFT and shell the crap out of people. Try and start fires. Ah, nice. So how do you spec her and play her? Detected yet, and I'm a little bit concerned by that. Where are they? Yeah, I mean, you can play her both ways. I mean, there's no right or wrong. I guess I like her guns, so I kind of like to be shooting stuff with her. Something in here with me. Where are you? one of our DDs is gone already. Loyang, Uloi are in the middle. So that leaves me with Benson or Shira. Which one is it though? Neither are great. Benson. Okay. And he caught me with a torp. Oh dear. Tonight is not my night. We are just sucking big time today. Yeah, shit. 50% win rate today. Ah, man. Let's give Fiji another run out. Come on, Sharpe, focus. Must do better. Must do better. Okay, that's a fairly solid build. Yay! Not up-tiered. Alright, we better make the most of this time.
Let's get to it.
Okay, friendly BBs, I am hoping you're going to support and not go out to the sides and camp. Oh, nice! So you got out of a, Santa thingy. It was quite harsh. One of my fellow 95th, he bought the Gallant when it was on sale during the last ranked season, and I think literally like 3 days later he got a super container with the Gallant in it. Harshest RNG ever. Warship's commands and we obey.
Smoke screen set.
Over the hills and far away. Yeah, he got doubloons instead, but I don't think it was the amount he paid. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but that's right, fighters, stay in my A bubble.
Enemy battleship detected.
TeamSpeak user timed out from
Yeah,
the
thanks
90
for
right.
crossing in front of me. For doing it. Okay, my aim is really off as well.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Really? 2 hit? That's better. 3 citadels.
Enemy cruiser.
And yeah, sorry, Carl. I think it was more the irony of having bought it and then getting it in a super container more than anything else. Okay, wait till we get to 20 knots. Pop! And perfect smoke every time. If you didn't already know that trick with Royal Navy cruisers.
Smoke screen set.
Yep, from full speed to putting yourself at 0. Wait to hit just above 20 knots, pop smoke, and perfect smoke every time. No sailing out of smoke, lots of smoke real estate to use, as you can see. Come on guns, turn, give me a shot before my smoke dissipates. And that was my last smoke fire. Bounce. do something a little bit risque. Just need to get to a point where I break his line of sight.
Torpedoes direct front.
Oh! Oh no.
Enemy battleships
Thought that CV was going to steal my well-executed kill. Fortunately, he dropped his torps far too close, and so they didn't arm. That's a rookie mistake. Well, Cloud, this has been a better feature game. Hopefully a good example of how powerful she can be. Yeah, the enemy's pretty much stuffed now. Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of funny sometimes. I mean, I really do enjoy US cruisers, and the Des Moines is one of my favorites. But you do sometimes feel yourself thinking, could do with smoke. Sorry, could do with torps. But then on the other hand, I've citadeled Yamatos at close range with the Des Moines super heavy USAP. We're going to avoid those. But yeah, I mean, of the cruiser lines, and again, probably biased, but Royal Navy is my favourite. However, I'm of the firm belief that this AP-only bullshit needs to go. Yeah, a lot of players really underestimate cruiser AP against battleships at, sub 2 kilometer range. Boom!
Warship destroyed.
I think we need to find that carrier now. York's probably got the same idea. York, you go north the island, I'll go south of it.
Ends in 5 minutes.
And between the two of us, he has nowhere to go. Although our CV's tall bombers might get to him before we do. Although judging by his previous manual drop, he may not even be able to hit a stationary target. Oh no, he did hit him. Hoorah! Oh, you got him before my torps could reach him. Still, that was a good game for the Fiji. Nice amount of medals. Devastating strike, fabulous fuse. You've got a parcel waiting for you. Like a pro. Skipper on deck. And there we go, we got top. And that's a proper Fiji game. Where I didn't make any stupid mistakes and didn't suck. Yeah, 104k damage. Good result, and a $250,000 profit. Nice, nice. Um, the only time it makes significant difference is in a battleship, because if you look at the actual stats of cruisers, battleships and CVs, because if you look at the stats of cruisers and destroyers, they don't change drastically between bottom tier and top tier, as in hit points and things like that. But battleships, their hit points change massively as the tiers increase. And for CVs, if you're bottom tiered in a CV, you can't achieve anything, because everything will shoot your planes down because they are weak source. So for cruisers and DDs, being top, bottom tier, I personally think doesn't have a huge impact. But for battleships and CVs, it is more relevant, whether you're top tier or bottom tier. But then saying that, I've had games where I've played in North Carolina and killed 2 Yamatos on my own. And I've had other games where I played in North Carolina and got completely violated in 1 salvo. So, yeah, it's, RNG has an element in there as well. I really don't know, Cloud. I've not seen even any preliminary details for Royal Navy CVs. But I think the next full line is going to be Royal Navy destroyers, because I did sort of see a preview for that a while ago. Or should I say a concept for that. I haven't seen a concept for any other full lines yet. Yeah, weakest, but still incredibly effective. I think one of the amusing things was the fact that they were so slow that modern anti-aircraft guns couldn't hit them. Due to overleading or overcompensating. I can't remember, to be honest. But yes, I'm sure it had it did have a nickname. Ah, damn it, Mr. Tom. Never mind. Any other ships you would like to see, Cloud? Hopefully now that I've gotten a solid win in the Fiji, I can actually get on a roll. Torp DDs. Okay. Well, that puts us into the territory of either IJN or Kriegsmarine. Okay. Let's put a captain back on Yugumo and take her out. Now, I actually prefer Yugumo to Shimakaze because she's got the same torps now, or the same ideal torps at 12km range. But she has better reload on them, and she can mount the torp reload booster consumable. And she has better stealth. So this is pretty much the standard IJN destroyer build. So yeah, for Yugumo, you want the 12km torps because that's the Shimakaze torps. Fast, heavy hitting, but thanks to having one less launcher, faster reload, and the happy days of torp reload booster. And stealth of 5.5. Yeah, no worries, mate. I will try and make it a good one. And yes, it's getting quite late as well, so I should actually probably get some sleep after this as well. So that's a good reminder that I need sleep as well. Okay, we've got one enemy radar, the Baltimore. It's cool. And we've got 3, so we have a distinct advantage there. BC? Really? No. How about AB, guys? And my support has just turned away. Great. So I can't press into the cap now. I'm just going to have to try and spot and torp in. The only thing that can outspot me is the Kagero with 5.4 stealth to my 5.5. we are going to send a wall of torpedoes towards that smoke. Ah, damn, he went out. But I'm safe. It would have been nice to interrupt or be able to get a hit, but he was not stupid enough to stay in his smoke. So, well done that Fletcher. Now I shall run. And our team has not got B or C. Iowa doesn't understand over-penetration mechanics. What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at there. It depends. A lot of people tend to hug and kind of surprise come out. Best thing for a DD to do is stay wide unless you're in a short range torping DD, in which case you hug. Like I was doing there, I tried to stay wide of A to maximize my spotting potential and not get spotted, but the Fletcher still managed to spot me because he didn't do what I thought he was going to do, which was sit in smoke. No need to apologise, mate. I'd play PvE more, to be honest, if there was a bit more variety. I mean, the scenarios were really interesting, but after you've got 5 stars, then there's kind of, or at least for me, no incentive to do more. And there we go. Why are you smoking up here, Shima? Yeah, he dodged a lot of my torpedoes. So that is a lot of potential damage. Oh, I got another random torpid and flood. Happy days. San Luis, you are doing something questionable. Yamato's gonna die, no point wasting torps. Yeah, Kagero was here, but he backed off, and I think he's backed off quite a long way because our Curvester's being awfully brave. And this is actually a really good example of battleships not camping. That Curvester, Margi, and Missouri, fucking heroes. That's how battleships are supposed to play. Tip of the spear, aggressive. Yeah, it has gone in our favour quite rapidly. And that Iowa is... yeah, okay. Report for misbehavior, and the Kagero is by the Iowa because he's just smoked him up. Yeah, I think he's a bit butt sore there. Oh, and I got the Iowa. He's probably going to whinge about that now. Doesn't look like any more Torms are going to catch him. Oh no, maybe one? Oof. No. It's close. Close, but no cigar. And there he goes. I think that Iowa is being a bit silly. He really is upset. And now the Curvers is just taking the piss out of him. Oh, Moscow got him. What a shame. Yeah, 1,300. Not great, but we won. And only 300 behind the top scorer, so wasn't that much in it. But while damage was low, we did our job. I mean, damage on spotting, 102,000. You know, currently, I've not been rewarded for that at all. And yet, that's actually a good number. Yep, that's not a bad one to end on. We'll just collect our last container. But yeah, quite clearly there, from the points distribution, our entire team actually did a good job. Awesome. Okay, well, on that note, I think I'll be calling the stream there. Thanks very much again for the sub, Cloud. It is very much appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed this evening's stream. And yeah, I shall be back for my regular tomorrow. Yeah, you're more than welcome, mate. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Good night, buddy. Take it easy.